I'm Graham Speak, the CEO founder of Bankvault Cybersecurity. Business executives and professionals face unprecedented cybersecurity risks. I'd like to show you a demo of our solution we call Invisible Traveler, which isolates you from the hackers on your device or the trackers on your network, so you can take control of your own cybersecurity. So the question I have for you is, how can you tell if your device or mobile phone is compromised? You can't. 99% of cyber attacks or more target our end user devices, PCs and smartphones. And the goal is identity theft. It's to capture your credentials to online services. If I get your username and passwords, I can log into your accounts and steal your money. I can redirect a financial transaction. I can hold you to ransom. And it's actually not hard to do. When you see the asterisks in the password field, that's simply a mask for the person in the chair next to you. Any software in your browser or that machine sees this as clear text. And so if you're using a password manager, when it loads your encrypted password into that web form, it's no longer encrypted. It's now clear text, intercepted instantly if there's a man in the browser. So password managers actually expose our credentials to malware. There's nothing that they can do to stop this. This is a design flaw with the way browsers work. VPNs do not solve the problem. A VPN is a long pipe with the end in another country, and everything you do on your local machine comes straight through the VPN, whether it's an email attachment or you're clicking on JavaScript in your browser. AI agents are the next threat. These will see what we see. They will hear what we hear. They will know what we know. They will know everything. The industry's use of 2FA has been really solid, but even 2FA can be defeated. If I've hacked your browser and I've got your login credentials, I'm now one step away from tricking you to revealing your second factor, which I can do because I've got control of your browser. This is called social engineering. That one-time passcode might be issued once, but it can be used multiple times in, say, the next 35 seconds. And if I sting you, reputational consequences could be catastrophic. So let me show you what the alternative is. Our solution we call Invisible Traveler is a suite of products. On the landing page here at the very top of the screen, there's a number of logins. I'm going to choose a website login. The first thing I point out is, by default, it takes me to the closest data center node where I am. But I could override this. I could change this to Northern California, to London, or wherever. There's a QR code on the screen. If I scan that QR code with my phone camera, this is a passwordless authentication technology that we've developed called MasterKey. My phone browser launches, it recognizes it. I'll tap to authenticate, and it logs in. What happens is it built a virtual machine in a remote data center. That machine was built in less than 1 second. It's a pristine new machine that has never existed before. And the image of that desktop is now transmitted to me across the internet through an encrypted connection to my browser. It looks like it's working locally. In fact, if I press F11, it fills my screen, and it now does feel like it's running locally. Now, this is an encrypted connection. The stream of pixels cannot carry any code, and so there is no possible way of this being contaminated. This is partly why we call this a fortified VPN. Nothing can get through this or get out of this. If I go to the Start button, you can see I've got a number of applications in here. I've got 4 browsers in here: Chrome, Brave, Firefox, and Chromium. If I was to log into Google Chrome and log into my Google account, it would populate it with my Google password manager. So I've now got my password manager in my remote virtual machine. But for this demo, I'm just going to launch Chromium. Chromium is a lightweight, very fast browser, and I'm going to do some internet banking. And I don't keep my banking credentials in a password manager. If I go up here and I type in NetBank, and let's just assume my bank account number is 123456. Now, I don't want to enter my password through the same keyboard, because if my device is compromised, I'm now trapped. So instead of doing that, if I minimize my browser, I move it out of the way, you can see there's a QR code on the screen. If I scan it with my phone camera, it will launch the browser in my phone and immediately turn it into a keyboard. This is an illusion. There is no keyboard. This is just a photograph. But what I'm doing is I'm setting up encoded cells on the screen. If I touch the cell above the photograph of the letter A, instead of generating one character, A, I'm going to generate perhaps 48 characters. And the only place in the universe that can actually interpret that is that remote virtual machine which created a security secret a moment earlier. So it becomes a character there, it's put into the password field, echoes come back to my screen here as an image of an asterisk. It literally is just an image. Any malware on my computer here is only seeing asterisks. I'll also add that the only place in the universe that can merge what I type in with this invisible keyboard and what I type with my physical keyboard is a virtual machine that has never existed before and is invisible from the internet. Now, I probably mistyped the password. If I log in, that won't work. And I don't have time for this demo, so I'm going to log out. But what I could do, for example, is now launch a cryptocurrency wallet in here, enter my 12-word phrase, reconstruct my crypto wallet, and transact. This essentially is an invisible wallet, equivalent security of being offline, but with the convenience of now being online. And of course, I can do my exchanges, and I can do my banking, etc. There's one more thing I'll do before I log off. I wanted to play around with the spreadsheet. I've got an Excel spreadsheet on my local device. I can click and drag it off. It's seamlessly integrated into the remote virtual machine now. I can open this. I can work with it as if it was local. And one of the things we wanted to protect against is any possible way that malware could creep across and get out of this machine across to my local device. So nothing gets out of this machine. The only thing that can happen is if I print, it will generate a PDF and it will transfer that PDF back to my local device, which I can now print, save, or do what I like. Now, when I log off, this machine evaporates without trace. I'm free from trackers. I'm secure from hackers. There's no software. There's no breadcrumbs. And you simply can't hack something that doesn't exist. On a mobile phone, it's exactly the same experience. Only there is no QR code to log in. It logs me straight in. I launch the browser, enter my credentials with the normal invisible encrypted keyboard. When it comes to the password field, the moment I tap on there, it's now a red keyboard. And this is to highlight that we've actually upped the security another notch. We're actually shuffling the order of the keystrokes slightly. You enter your credentials, log in, and everything's normal. But there's literally no malware on the phone or the browser that can ever intercept and decipher this. You're secure, you're anonymous, you're untraceable. Those credentials can never be hacked. If you'd like to experience this within your own hands and have a test drive, it's literally one click away. There's no software to download, install, or configure. If you'd like to speak with one of our security consultants or myself, I'll be delighted to meet you.